Hello number ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. Today we have a little bit of an informal talk, an informal chat, and I'm going to talk to you about how to be successful in life. Now first of all, to start with, I'd like to say, who am I to tell you how to be successful in life? Well, I'd like to say that in my life I have experienced a certain degree of success, particularly in 4 aspects of my life, and I would like to share these with you very briefly before actually getting into how to be successful and my tips and advices to you, because I don't want you to watch this video, hear my tips and my advices, and then perhaps think, yeah, this is all talk, but what is the fact? So I'm going to present to you the fact. I'm not just trying to boast, I'm just trying to tell you which aspects and which areas of my life I have reached success, and these are 4. Education, career, language proficiency, and ultimately, the most recent one, my YouTube channel. Now, as far as my education is concerned, I have a university degree in Japanese and, Japanese and English, really. It's sort of a comparative cultures and languages university major, if you will. Now, when I say that I have reached success with this one is because when I was a university student, I was studying very hard. I used to study very hard. Most of my exams had top marks, and some of which even got the cum laude, which is like the highest mark you can get. Not only did I get a final top mark at the end of my university career, but actually my thesis, which was based on Kyoto during imperial times as the former capital, Heian-kyo, this thesis was so much appreciated by the president of the university committee that she actually took my thesis, and only my thesis, and she took it home with her. As far as my career is concerned, well, as you know, I'm a linguist and I'm a teacher, worked in Italy and abroad. As a matter of fact, I did work in Japan. And regardless of the fact that many people try to discourage me, telling me, no, it's not easy, you got to know the language well when you go to Japan, otherwise you won't find a job. I did find a job within 3 weeks that I reached Japan. But not only that, but when I came back to Italy, lots of people actually told me, don't even try, stay in Japan, don't come back to Italy because we've got a big crisis, there are no jobs, you're never going to find a job, just stay where you are. I came back to Italy, 2 weeks, I got my job, and since then not only have I continued to work, I reached a point where I became an actual quite popular teacher, and I'm very thankful for that. So much so that at the moment I am currently receiving constant requests from many schools all over Sicily that ask me to teach for them. And there are so many that I have to refuse, and of course this allows me to choose to teach the projects that I prefer. As far as languages are concerned, I remember when I came back from England, because I spent some time in England when I was a teenager, and I came back from England, of course I had learned English at the time. I did decide to start studying Japanese, but lots of people told me, well, Japanese is not like English. Of course, okay, you got English down, sort of, but you know, Japanese is going to be tough, don't even try, it's really difficult, you're never going to make it. What did I do? I went to university, I graduated in Japanese, I started studying very hard, and not only did I get my Japanese to business level, but now I'm actually able to speak 7 languages, and not all of them to the same level of proficiency. But I do have quite a lot of language certificates. For example, this City & Guilds of London for my English, which gave me a C2 mastery of English with first class pass, top marks. And ultimately my YouTube channel, I'm not a celebrity, I don't have like millions of subscribers, but considering that my channel is rather new, I've been working on it for not even 3 years, then lately I've been experiencing a lot of growth, and as you know, I have recently reached 100,000 subscribers, which is a milestone and something that I'm very proud of. And of course this is something that came not only because of the fantastic community that I have and all the help that you have given me, but also because of all the studies and projects and experimentation that I've tried over the last few months, that actually, you know, spending lots of hours analyzing the analytics of my channel, trying to understand what works better and what best and what doesn't, and ultimately in the last month I have experienced a exponential growth, and it was a proof that again I was being successful. So having said this, and having had this little presentation, my credentials, so to speak, how did I do this? How can you be successful, and how can you experience the same level of success that I have experienced and I'm very grateful for in my life? Well, it actually all boils down to one word. It's just one word, but I will tell you how to apply this word and the way I do it. The word is willpower. Now, today's video is a good example of what I'm talking about. For example, today, you see, yesterday I spent my entire Sunday making my Teutonic Knights video that many of you have watched, and thank you for watching always. And so, but it took me a lot of time because I had to prepare and I had to do a lot of research, and I had to make the video, film it, write the script and memorize the script and everything. So, well, today nothing is scripted, I'm just speaking to the camera, but some of my videos are scripted, some aren't. Now, yesterday night, however, regardless of the fact that I was tired, I could not sleep. Sometimes I do occasionally suffer from insomnia. And about insomnia, by the way, at the end of this video I will share with you an interesting piece of software about insomnia that I sometimes use when I can't sleep at night. That is rather interesting, so I'd like to, and it's actually a work of art, so I'll just share it with you at the end of this video. But back on topic. When it sometimes happens that I can't sleep, of course it's a problem because I'm a very active individual. I do a lot of things. So today, again, it was the morning I worked because I have to work, and now it's afternoon. It's 6 basically p.m. and I'm making a YouTube video. Why am I making a YouTube video? Why am I not just laying on my bed? Why am I not sleeping? Why am I not tired? I am tired, but I am making the video because here is willpower. Here's what I'm talking about. I don't allow myself to have a choice when a problem presents itself, because I've already made the choice in the first place. Whenever you have a goal in your life, whether it be getting good at something, learning a language, getting a job, improve your education, earning some money, get good at HEMA, get good at martial arts, get a good body at the gym, whatever your goal is, you will find obstacles, things that will try to slow you down or even stop you completely from achieving that goal. The thing is that only a few of those things are actually real obstacles. Many are obstacles that can be easily put down. But you don't. Why? Because when the problem presents itself, for example, let me just give you an easy example. It's raining, stormy weather. I had decided to go to the gym, but now it's raining and it's cold. What do? Shall I go or shall I stay home? This is the problem. You're asking the question in the wrong moment. I don't ask myself that question because I've already made my mind. I chose last year that I wanted to go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. That's when I ask myself the question, do you want to go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week? Answer, yes. Good. I'm never going to ask that question again. When the problem arises, when it's raining out there, or when I'm tired, or when I had an argument with my girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever you're into, I will not ask the question. I will not say, so what do I do now? It doesn't matter. I'm not asking the question. I've already asked the question, so when the problem presents itself, I am still going to the gym, to HEMA for some of you, and the same concept can be applied to language learning, for example. How did I learn 7 languages? Because every day for the last 15 years, I have been practicing my language skills, no matter what. Why? Because I had chosen, when I was basically a very young lad at the time, since 15 years have passed, that I would have spent every day of my life for language learning, no matter what. And my question was already asked 15 years ago, and I still stick to it every day of my life. When I wake up in the morning, I start practicing my languages. It doesn't matter if I'm busy, it doesn't matter if I had an argument with my woman, it doesn't matter if I'm very busy, it doesn't matter if I'm tired, it doesn't matter if whatever the problem is. Even if I'm super busy and I'm running because I'm late and I slept in and I'm gonna get late for work, I still have to brush my teeth before I get out. So this is an opportunity to say toothbrush and toothpaste in all the languages I know. And there you have it. I got my language learning, I got my language practice. Perhaps it's not as effective as other days, but I never let one day go. This is how you become proficient in languages. This is how you become good at martial arts. Drill, practice. Don't allow yourself to just, oh, but today is Christmas Eve. No one really does anything on Christmas Eve. I do. So that expression doesn't work anymore. On Christmas Day, I still practice my languages. And I've still made a video. So going back to the video example, this is what I did, okay? I could have chosen, I'm tired, I've already made a video yesterday, I don't really feel like switching on the camera now, so I'm not gonna do it. What should I do? But I don't ask the question. The question was asked 34 or 35 days ago when I decided to go for daily upload, and I will stick to daily upload no matter what, unless in the future I do consider it not to be a good strategy in terms of my subscribers being able to follow me or whatever. In that case, that's okay. But if it's a problem that's trying to stop me, I'm not gonna let it stop me. As a matter of fact, as soon as I finish this video, I'm off to the gym. Now, of course, I need to listen to my body needs as well. So I'm tired, so I'm not gonna deadlift or I'm not gonna do bench press, okay? I'm just gonna do a little bit of cardio perhaps, and I'll do a little bit of abs, and that's it. But that's fine, as long as I go, because I need to stick to my commitment. It's a proof of willpower, a proof to myself before anything. See, this is how society works now. Society is a problem. They always try to put you down. They always try to put you in a position where you can't do anything. Let's say you really like this girl and you want to marry her. You need a job to do so, okay? Fine, look for a job. You can't find a job? No problem. Get into education. Get an education so that you will not have a problem finding a job. You see, again, people will try to discourage you. Because of course I was in the same situation as you, as anyone. You know, I was a very young lad, didn't know what to do with my life yet. But I decided to go for education, and I worked hard. And worked hard, you know what that means? It means that when my friends asked me to go out, and I really wanted to go out because not only it's good, it's fun to be with my friends, but perhaps there was even a girl I liked. But I had decided to study 15 pages on that day, and I was still on the 6th page because perhaps it was more difficult than I had expected. I said no, and I stayed home 15 pages and I did not go to bed until I got my 15 pages studied. This is how I managed to get the top marks at my university. I think in 4 years of university studies I only went out 5 times, and I still remember each single one of them, because all the other time was either at the university library studying, doing research, or I was at home doing research. Perhaps I was a little extreme from that point of view, but still, don't renounce your studies and your study time so easily either. You gotta find a good balance there, because this society is gonna try to stop you, to stop me. So I say, don't go down, stand the ground, close your fists, make all the sacrifices and all the things you wish for, the job you always wanted, the language you wanted to learn, the skill you wanted to acquire. Don't just wish for it, it's yours, take it. And when the world comes at you hard with problems, you tell the world, you are not taking me down. Do successful people make mistakes? Absolutely. I am a master of mistakes. You wouldn't imagine how many. I think I've made more mistakes than any of you out there. Why? Because I try all the time and I experiment with new things, because I want to improve and learn and enlarge and expand my understanding of things. And that requires making mistakes. Why? Because mistaking is the best way to learn, and I say that as a professional teacher. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of teachers out there, but I am a real teacher. What does being a real teacher mean? That I don't just do it for the money. I don't even care for the money, okay? It's because I want to see my students improve. And a real teacher, when a student makes a mistake, does not rebuke him, okay? I don't rebuke my students. I don't scold my students when they make mistakes. In fact, I tell my students during my classes, I tell them, do not be afraid of making mistakes, because in this class there are 2 teachers. Secondary teacher, me. Primary teacher, mistake. There is only one case in which making a mistake is not appropriate, and that is during tests and exams. This is when you need to try and avoid making mistakes. But during class, if you make a mistake as a student, I am not going to rebuke you. I'm going to use that mistake, I'm going to correct you, and I'm going to help you and help you learn. And we're going to use that opportunity to learn and improve. So teachers that go ballistic on students, or rebuke them, or ridicule them and belittle them because of whatever mistake they make, they are not real teachers. They're just people who want the salary at the end of the month. And again, there's nothing wrong with earning a living, okay, with what you do. But being a teacher is a calling, because as teachers, we have been entrusted with the new generations, and what we tell them will stick to them. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. There are 3 kinds of people in life. There are those who make mistakes, and therefore we will give it an example as someone, we will be a little analogy here, but someone who walks and falls on the ground, okay? That's a person who makes a mistake and then they stay down. Then there are people who never make mistakes, but these are the people who don't even try. They don't make mistakes not because they're perfect, but they don't make mistakes because they never step out of their comfort zones, and therefore they never improve. And they are also the ones who ridicule those who make mistakes, mind you. Then there is a 3rd category of person, you and me, the people who make mistakes but they stand back up and keep on going regardless of what the other people say, because it doesn't matter. They will stand still, but you will keep growing and progressing. And that is all that matters. And one day when there will be crisis, but you will be chosen because of all the expertise that you have gained through your mistakes. So never be afraid of making a mistake. Never be ashamed of your mistakes, because for those who can filter through the illusions of this world, they will see that you are a man or a woman who is trying to step up to a next level. And again, people with opened eyes will praise you for that. They will commend you for that. And I myself commend you for every time you made a mistake because you were trying. Being successful is more than a selfish thing. It's not just about how important you can be or what a great of a career or how much money and fame you can gain for yourself and your immediate family. But it's a way to give you power for good, for helping people, how you can bless the life of other people through your sacrifice. And this is when you will be thankful for every time, for every hour and minute that you have spent in sacrifice while you were practicing, while you were trying to get better at something, while you were trying to learn a language, while you were trying to get your education, while you were trying to get done with your day at work. Because that difficult moment will turn into a blessing for another person who is in need. You will have the power to help them. People know that they can count on me. And that's not because I'm some rich boy born in a wealthy family. Never mind, my parents still have problems paying their bills, and sometimes I help them. And I'm glad for that, I'm grateful for that, because of course I'm grateful for them for giving me life in the first place. It's the least I can do to give them a hand now that I have become an independent man. And I can stand on my feet. I've been standing on my feet for the last 15 years of my life, because even when I was a university student, and again, I started working immediately after university, but even when I was a student, I got myself 3 scholarships from my university. So after the first year, when my mother made a lot of sacrifices to allow me to study, and mind you, regardless of all the sacrifices she made, I barely had money to eat, and sometimes I had to choose between eating or getting a book to get the exam done, and of course I chose the book. But after the first year, I could call my mother and say, "Mom, I don't need the money this month. I don't need the money this year. I got a scholarship." And I got them 3 times. Yes, it's a competitive society. And that's when you stand the ground. Do all you can. Do all in your power. And you will succeed. So now people know that they can count on me. But not just from a monetary point of view. They know I can give them support. For example, I've got one of my students, he doesn't have money, but he really wanted to learn English, and I recognized his interest and how much he wanted to do that. So I teach him for free. In exchange, since he's a painter, he actually gave me one of his most beautiful paintings, to be honest. Now, I accepted that form of payment, not only as a respect for his work of art, which was beautiful painting, and as a matter of fact, first we gave it a certain value, and then to show him my appreciation, I actually gave him more lessons than what we had agreed to. I could do this because I already had a good salary, so I could pay for my bills, I could pay for my rent and everything, so I could afford to do that. But the only reason why I had a good salary in the first place is because of all the years I have spent studying and getting a proper education, all the years that I spent in those other countries that I have lived in, like Japan and England, which allowed me to get a higher level of fluency in these languages in order for me to be the one chosen whenever there was a situation where they needed a translator or an interpreter, because of the experience that I had, field experience. But again, how did I get there? Through sacrifice. I didn't have much money, so sometimes I had to clean toilets, sometimes I had to be perhaps even a waiter. Very tough job, I've done it for years. I even worked in a freaking call center in Japan. I have tried literally everything. I've never been ashamed of any job, trying any job, no problem. Dishwasher, I was a dishwasher until 2 a.m. to pay for at first. Then I became a teacher of Italian, then I became a translator and in full-time and an simultaneous interpreter. But at first, I had to wash the dishes. Did I say no? No problem, until 2 a.m.? Until 2 a.m., not a problem. And I have an actual problem, an illness called plantar fasciitis, which is, if some of you have it, you know what it means. It's that sometimes your feet hurt so much to a point that you can't stand, literally. Now it's been many years since I had problems with it, so I think I must have healed from it somehow, spontaneous healing. I stood up for 14 hours in a row, and that, my friends, was a living hell for me. Did I give up? Absolutely not. Why? Because I needed to get the money in order to stay in Japan to improve my Japanese, because I had already made my mind. So going back to the first point, the original point, the question needs to be asked once. If you answer it yes, you're gonna stick to it. no matter what. This is the video I wanted to share with you today. I thank you for all your support, and I thank you for watching. If you have watched it until the end, I really have to commend you, because this video was rather long of me blabbering around. But I'm glad, and I hope that this video could be a motivational video for you. Don't start tomorrow, start today. Improve your life bit by bit. It will take sacrifice, it will take time, but success will come. Thank you for watching. Alright then, I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit of a different video, more of a vlog rather than an educational video, but I hope that it helped. I felt it was the right thing to talk about considering the amount of subscribers I have now, because I think that perhaps there will be some people there that needed these words, that needed these examples, and I hope that I was able to reach and help you. Now I'd like to share with you this piece of software I talked about. It's called Anasomnia. It's this one here. It's very interesting. You can find a link down below. It's a very interesting piece of art. You just click it and there's this girl who goes to sleep, and then when you switch off the light, her dreams start to have a manifestation of her dreams. It's very, very interesting. I like it, and I think it's also linked to your camera. If you have a webcam, if you actually switch off the light, the sensor will feel it and she will fall asleep. But when you switch on the light, she will wake up again. You know, if you have an insomnia night, you don't know what to do, it's an interesting piece of software to look at, also because of the beautiful artistic representation of her dreams. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye!